All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Tree Advisors Commission meeting. Today is Thursday, November 6th, 2025. We'll call to order the members present.
Joe Sadheim, City Engineer.
Miriam Waldner, Commissioner.
Lee Knopf, Commissioner.
Greg Dearson, Commissioner.
Paul Eglund, Commissioner.
Jordy Veit, Commissioner.
Joey Shugel, Staff.
Jeff Huffman, Public Works Superintendent.
And we have guests today. We'll add him to the agenda. Joe will add to the agenda, but first I'll seek approval of the agenda.
And Mr. Chair, before you approve the agenda, can we make some modifications?
Yes, sir.
One would be adding Mr. Gardner where this commission sees fit, and then adding under new business 6.4 would be updates on city commissions.
With the additions, I'll seek approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the additions.
I second that.
With a motion and second, look for all in favor to say aye.
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 Any opposed, same. We have our amended agenda approved. We'll add Joel Gartner to kind of the first part of 5 for our old business. So as soon as we approve the minutes, which would be 4.1, seek approval of minutes from September 4th.
I move that the minutes be approved.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve those minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. That motion passes. So we can move into our agenda item now. And we have guests today. So you want to introduce yourself, Joel?
Sure. My name is Joe Gartner. I live at 1401 South Payne Street here in New Ulm. And I volunteer along with my wife at the Pollinator Park and Flandreau State Park. And I'm here today to just mention a few things that I thought would be worth mentioning. And if you'd like to have a bigger discussion, I could be here at the January 8th meeting to entertain more. We've been working on buckthorn. You ever hear of that one? And wow, my vision of how to control buckthorn back when I was living out on a little acreage in Hector, and even before that in Holly, Minnesota, up by Moorhead, has totally changed. I think there's a new vision. Buckthorn is going to be with us. It's not going away. Mm-hmm. And there are good ways to control it. And one of them is to, this time of year, the female trees have the berries. And we've gone, and my wife and I have gone and cut probably thousands of them down, and we're going to cut more thousands of them. There's a lot of buckthorn out there. The number of berry-producing shrubs is a lot less than the actual shoots that are coming up. There are some berry-producing shrubs that have a circumference of that or even bigger, which means they're 30 or 40-year-old. They've never been removed. During their whole lifetime, they probably have produced, at least 1,000 seeds a year that the birds spread, or they drop directly down and they produce a thicket. So we're trying to get rid of those berry-producing plants, and especially the really old ones, because it's unbelievable how many berries they have. And of course, the males don't. I have male trees in my yard, about 10 of them that are very nice trees. I'm not doing anything with them. I do have some standbys planted next to them, so that when those alternate plants get big enough, I'll be cutting the male buckthorns down. But right now, the male buckthorns are shading the ground. They're not dropping any seeds. I'm not disturbing the ground. So, and I brought some with me. These are from really big trees, but of course I couldn't bring the really big trees. But if you've got a really big buckthorn now, and this is what they look like, those are males. And pretty easy to tell the females. Gotta be careful not to drop berries here. They're just loaded with these little berries. And buckthorn, of course, has a kind of a thorny point to it. And this time of year, it's really green. And of course, there's been ideas about how can we control buckthorn? I'm not going to get into all of them, but one of them is maybe it can get a fungus that would kill it. You know, it's so plentiful that opens up that situation maybe. And we have noticed a lot this year, a lot of the leaves are green that have black splotches on them. We haven't noticed that so much in past years. So
Thank you.
So my whole thing is, let's try to promote that. Let's try to promote that we try to remove the berry-producing shrubs and not only cut them, because if you cut them, they'll come back, and they'll come back in fivefold, or instead of one trunk, it'll be five. There needs to be some kind of chemical applied. We use a couple different chemicals, one that the park supplies and one that we buy at a local store. And so we cut the stump off, and then we just tap around the cambium to control them. One thing is, it would be nice if people had a list of alternate plants to plant, or plants that can compete, because a lot of plants can't compete with buckthorn, but there are some that do compete really well. And one of them are male buckthorns. If you have a male buckthorn, they're occupying a space that isn't available for the berry-producing shrubs. The birds don't come to them very much because they don't have any berries on them. And so that I would if I come back in January, I'd like to have a little list or ideas of what you can do to replace the buckthorn. The other thing I had was about this lovely picture here. I don't know, what year was that done? 1860 or 1870? It was supposed to reminisce back to that time, even though it was probably painted later. Well, we have a little piece of native prairie left at the pollinator park that's original prairie. And a lot of that was original prairie, maintained by fire and earlier by grazing. And once the pioneers came here, stopped the fire, and the buffalo and elk were gone, the trees started spreading in there. And today we have our beautiful valley of trees from that. But unfortunately, the prairie disappeared, except for this one little piece that's across from the impound lot at the Pollinator Park on North 22nd Street. And I've identified definite plants that indicate that that has not been tilled for a long time. And if it ever was, the plants came from surrounding areas and repopulated it. So we'd like to preserve that little spot, and along with it, there's tallgrass prairie that's planted along the bike trail. And that's not native, but it is indicative of prairie stuff. So it's kind of a nice thing that we got this little spot, not much bigger than this room. And I don't know how it survived, because, you know, why didn't trees grow up? And it didn't do that. There's been trees planted along the bike trail. And most of them are, we have like some bur oak, great. We have some aspen, great. Those are nice additions because we don't have them at the Pollinator Park now. We have some other ones, though, that over the long term, we need to do something about. There's 2 catalpas and 1 ginkgo. And those are wonderful trees everywhere in New Ulm. But in this particular spot, we really need to think about removing them somehow, because they just aren't going to work out. And so that's my opinion. You can think about it. But I would really like to preserve that little piece of prairie And, you know, plant some more oaks, maybe some more aspen. Maybe there's some other trees that are fine. But those two particular types of trees, you know, would have some problems fitting in. So, but that's about it.
Any questions, commissioners?
Basically, buckthorn and a little native piece of prairie. That's it.
That spot is next to the pollinator park. Is that part of city property?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a piece of the
Okay.
city property.
So-
It butts right up to, I think, North 22nd Street.
We've had this discussion before about, is it, where does it lie? Tree commission or tree and shrub, or tree, shrub and prairie, that we need to kind of keep an eye on as we're paying
How-
attention to these locations.
How big are your offending trees, diameter-wise?
Well, they were just replanted a couple years ago. So,
They're,
you know,
they're big enough to move with a tree spade is what I'm asking.
yeah, they could be. I was thinking of that
I-
would be a good way to do it.
They could be moved with a tree spade to a better location.
Yeah, and I'm sure at the time, you know, there wasn't any, there's a few people that knew that spot existed, but it wasn't common knowledge like it is now. So, yeah, if that's possible, that'd be great.
I would suggest that as a possible solution. With trees dying all around town, I think you could find a place to move them to.
Yeah, that'd be great if that would work out.
I don't know.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, this is the eyewear for buckthorn.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was going to mention that today we've, prior to Emerald Ash Borer, we had, Ellen Van Cure was always trying to keep in front of buckthorn and some of the other invasives, so I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon, but as soon as we are able to turn our focus from the ash borer, we got to go back to some of these spots again. Any other questions? Without any other questions, we'll move into our old business, 5.1, the city reimbursement programs and budget update.
All right.
Joe?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commission members. We continue to receive reimbursement requests for mostly EAB removals. A couple new plantings, but as you can see, we are sitting on quite a surplus from the disease tree program and also the reimbursement account as well. So we'll continue to process those reimbursements as they come through, but we'll most likely be looking to carry over that amount with the city council come the new year, early next year in 2026. But I'm happy to entertain any questions.
There was kind of an uptick in the last few months, and that I anticipate that will continue.
Yep, I would agree. Yep. Yeah, especially there was some early reimbursement requests where they had multiples, and that's a lot of that after July 1st was that second round of reimbursements that went out. So definitely would like to keep getting the word out that we do have monies available for those that have the disease trees that need to be removed. So take advantage of the program.
With no other questions, we'll go to 5.2, Park and Rec Department update. Joy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Wanted to touch on ongoing ash inventory within our parks. Within the last, towards this end of summer season into early fall, we were sitting at a little over 60, 61-ish trees still in city parks that were emerald ash borer or infected with emerald ash borer. We have a contractor work now happening, will be happening soon in the South German Park area. We have 8 more ash trees there, kind of near the skate park and BMX track. So with those removed and some at North Park, we'll be sitting right under, closer to about 40, a little bit under 40. So that number started, if my memory serves me, in the 180 or so. So we're getting close to the end. Over the winter, our staff will be taking some down as well that aren't the large ones, but have seen, deterioration over this 2025 here. So I'd expect that number to probably be around 20 more or so after we get through winter here, if winter serves us with the capability of doing that. So in addition to that, our crews will be out trimming over the winter as well within parks as needed. And then maybe Mr. Huffman will touch on this a little more, but stump removals within that the street department helps us with within the parks as well with those trees that have been taken down. Any questions?
Seeing no questions, we'll go to 5.3, Public Works Update. Jeff Hoffman.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner and Mr. Chair. Right now, since this fall, we've cut out about 150 stumps so far and filled. So, and as of on today on the list, I think there was about 30 stumps left to go. So we're working on them, and hopefully by next week we'll be caught up with those and with doing the ones in the park. And so we removed 3 big trees by the fire station, 3 dead ash trees there. We removed them, and 4 more up off Westridge up there. So, but otherwise, if the snow stays away, we'll be starting tree trimming after Thanksgiving here. We'll start working on tree trimming. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, we would consider 5.4, but Tony's not present today. And then 5.5, the EAB update. Joe, we want to explain the relief application, please?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. City staff prepared and submitted a DNR Relief Community Forestry Grant for removal of our remaining ash trees in city boulevards and city parks and/or city property. So we went through, submitted the grant application. We were figuring 294 ash trees from the boulevard remain. These are estimated numbers. And 88 from city parks, but that number is obviously less from the work that Park and Rec staff has been doing over the last time since we've compiled those numbers. Within the grant application itself, we included the removals and the replanting on a one-to-one basis, so that's a total of 382 trees. Our in-kind match would be city crew, street department crews stump grinding. We're estimated about 573 hours worth of stump grinding for the 382 trees, and then our project admin time. So our total grant request was $362,900. I know grants were due, I think the deadline was coming up fairly soon here. I did receive correspondence. There was some small revision I had to make in the grant application and resent it off to the DNR yesterday. So we will cross our fingers, cross our toes, and see where we stand come grant award time.
In the previous years, when was their awarding time? January?
We would know by February, so we would be able to January, February. So our goal would be turn around and get construction documents out and get bids for the project as quickly as possible, should we be notified of an award.
Yep.
And then the grant period would expire in, I believe it's June of 27, so we would have to do all this work within that 1.5-year time frame.
Commissioners, any questions for Joe on that? Thank you for that, for preparing that document again, or that request again.
Yeah, and I should note that Director Schugel and Planner Nisley also assisted as well and spent time on this, as helping prepare that.
It was beneficial the first 2 times that we were able to use it, so we made some big headway.
And that's one of the selling points, is that we were successful in our past performance, so hopefully that bears a little weight in the review of the grant application.
Okay, thank you. Our 5.6, sorry, is the big tree contest. There were 4 entries. The winner, Austin Lawrence, and a ginkgo tree. So we'll, on his ginkgo tree, we'll send a press release and then letters to the other contestants, we'll say. And that was the big tree contest history is in there. That was the first time we had included ginkgos, and it was also the smallest.
Number of entries. There's
Number-
not a lot of
smallest
big
winner,
ginkgos
no.
in New Ulm. That's true.
So that'll be your challenge next year is to either go back and visit another species again, or get creative. Maybe you'll try to find the biggest female buckthorn tree, and the winner will cut it down. Just throwing it out there.
Only if it's a female.
Yep, biggest female.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, yeah.
All right.
In 5.7, the neighborhood walkabout program. Joy, is this something for us?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, the League of Women Voters asked if this could be back on old business, and their ask was just to have the commission think of maybe in the second meeting of 2026, which would be the March timeframe, to think about if the commission at that time is still interested in the program, and if so, to set some dates for 2026 at that, to provide for extra notice on how that goes out. So no real decision needs to be made today, but just to put that in everyone's minds if that is something that this commission would like to continue in 2026.
Everyone's nodding. Anyone
I don't-
comment?
The last fall, we failed to get together with enough people to operate it, and Greg and I participate, and Joey. And only Joey's going to be remaining next spring. Would you be willing to do it next spring as a former member? That's a question to you, Greg.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. I might be willing to do that.
I would like to, spring would be good and fall would be good. I know summer was nice because it was, everything's leafed out really and robust, but, and spring could be cold, fall could be cold when you're trying to do a walk too, so I guess it's just to have enough lead time is kind of the key. But I'm always willing to go walk around and point at trees.
I'm willing to do that as a former member, if that would give me enough status to talk, I don't know.
I am sure that next year's commissioners will remember your name and number.
You think so? Okay,
No problem getting a hold of you.
okay.
But that was worth doing. I think there was interest, and trying to settle on a date or making it cyclical would be useful. So, any other old business, or if not, we'll move to new business. 6.1 is election of officers, and I'll call for a nomination of the chairperson for next year. You can nominate.
I could.
Yeah. We've got a motion to nominate Jordy. A second?
Aye.
And a second? So just to be clear, it was Paul and Miriam, first and second. In case somebody questions my order.
Waving, okay. Yes.
Any other nominations for chair? Seeing none, officially we'll close those nominations and vote. All in favor of electing Jordy Veit as chair for next year? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Hearing none. Jordy gets to serve as chair for 2026. Congratulations. There's a binder coming your way. Has all the information in it. Then we need to call for a vice chairperson for next year upon the running out of terms of both myself and for Paul, so that limits the number of people available.
Lee.
I believe Miriam is making a motion nominating Lee as vice chairperson. Got a second?
I'll second.
Jordy with the second. Since we have a motion and a second, we'll vote for that vice chairperson. All in favor, Lee Knopf as chairperson for 2026, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Hearing none. We have our chair and vice chair for next year settled. Excellent. Then 6.2, determine the date of the meeting for January because the first is normally the day. So I'll suggest January 8th for that. We just need consent and agreement of the next year's 3 commissioners. They're nodding, so.
I think January 8th would be good.
Yep, that's fine with me.
So I'll set that as January 8th, the first non-holiday Thursday, 2026. And then 6.3 and 6.4, I'll turn over to you, Joey.
Sure. Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. This is always a bittersweet time for outgoing commissioners. First one is Chair Dearson. So served 2 terms on this tree commission and has done a great job as chair leading meetings. So I wanted to express my gratitude and how efficient and easy the meetings are and your time spent on this commission. So I will present you with a certificate shortly. But I also want to applaud Greg with a round of applause here. And then the next one is Mr. Igland. And Paul has done a fantastic job bringing his expertise to this commission. And I think, I don't know if we've had a commissioner with more knowledge regarding a lot of the things we talk about that has sat on this commission. So that will for sure be missed over your 3.5 years served on this commission, and your willingness to participate in what this commission does, whether it's the walkabout programs and measuring of our big tree contest and all the things that go with that. So thank you to you, Paul, as well. So we do have some certificates for you. And I should say the mayor wanted to be here today, but had a previous conflict where she could not make it today, but also wanted to convey her gratitude to your time serving on this commission. Any comments from outgoing commissioners?
Any rebuttal?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, Joey.
Yes.
Thank you.
You had 6.4
Yes.
for us as well?
Yes, so, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, wanted to update you on some potential updates to commission. So as you know, all of you have probably been recruited by our current mayor or a former mayor, as that is the mayor's duty to appoint our commissions. And one of the things that the mayor and city council has been looking at is our number of commissions and not only the number, but what the business, if there's a chance to consolidate anything. I think our city council for a long time has been in huge favor of this commission as well as the mayor. But one of the things that they may be discussing soon is a consolidation where this commission could be housed within the Park and Rec Commission, or the business that this commission does with the Park and Rec Commission. So I wanted to update everyone today that That's on city council's timeline. They may be doing a work session as soon as the next meeting in November, which I don't have the dates in front of me, but it would be the second, or the
18th.
third Tuesday, November 18th. So there may be a work session that's open to the public and open to commissioners if you want to attend. It won't be just talking about the tree commission, we'll be talking about all city commissions, but I think that one's there. I will say if that is something that moves forward and the city council decides that the business that this commission does will not be left aside. It'll be a huge part of what the Park and Rec Commission would move forward and do. And but I don't want to jump the gun to say, any thoughts on how that would look and when that would take place. But just wanted to get that in front of everyone today, that is going on. So look, check your, for when commission packets go out and council packets go out, that could be something coming up on a work session for discussion.
Commissioners, any questions to that end? There are quite a few overlaps between offices and those departments.
Right.
So it's certainly understandable, but we'll see how that plays out, I guess I would say. I think the worst of the EAB is through, and having to thank you for the extra work that you gentlemen have done in that regard. That's quite a task to try to respond to as a city. And a city with a huge in-city forest, or a huge number of trees within the city itself. So that's been kind of a large undertaking for the last few years. So in that part, it's been pleasurable to have to deal with it with people that are very interested in taking care of their town. So congratulations on that, and thank you for working with us as we consider these trees within our town. So, any other questions, comments from commissioners or others? We've got the date of the next meeting for January 8th, 4 p.m. in the City Council chambers. Make sure you get those items to Anita ahead of time. With no further business, we'll see number 9.1. We'll call this adjourned.